Hi, I'm Lauren, owner of Third Shift Crafts, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this simple wooden tray. If you want to see how it's done, stay tuned. I like to start off by cutting off a tiny bit of the factory end of the board. This ensures that I have a straight edge to work with starting off. After that tiny piece is removed, I'm going to measure out 16 inches and mark a line. I'll always measure twice to make sure I'm getting what I want. Then I'm going to head over to the miter saw and make my first cut. From here, since I need 3 more pieces at 16 inches, I'm going to use the first piece as my guide and line them up on the miter saw and cut 3 more. From here, I should have roughly 32 inches of board left. I'm going to go ahead and cut one 10-inch piece and one 17.5-inch piece. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab that second 1x3 and cut off the factory edge. Then I'm going to use the 10-inch and the 17.5-inch pieces as guides to cut the remaining 2 pieces I need. Now that all my pieces are cut, I'm going to roughly lay them out. This helps to see if everything will go together like I expect, and if I need to make any additional adjustments, I would go ahead and make them now. Next up is the sanding. I'm going to sand all my pieces with 120 grit, use a damp cloth to remove the dust, and go ahead and sand again with a 220 grit. Again, when I'm done sanding, I'll wipe off the extra dust. Now I'll go ahead and roughly lay the pieces out again just to get one more look at it and to mark which pieces I would like to go where. From here, I'm going to glue the 4 bottom slats together. To do this, I'm going to glue 2 and 2 and then combine them to make the 4. This helps to make sure that I have everything lined up the way I want. Next, I'm going to clamp them together and put this step stool down as a weight. The instructions on the glue I'm using say to wait 30 minutes, so that's what I'll do to give the glue some time to settle. So now the glue has settled and it's time to put together our sides. I'm going to start with the short sides, add some glue, clamp them down. Those scrap pieces of wood that you're going to see are going to be used to make the ends stay in place and not bow. Once I get it the way I want, I'm going to use the brad nailer. I believe I have 1 1/4 inch nails in there right now, and nail it together. I'll remove the clamps and add in any remaining nails I might want to add. Next up is the long sides. For these, they were cut slightly longer than needed. I could have shaved them down earlier with a saw, but I'm going to wait to do that for now. So again, I'm going to glue, clamp, and nail. You'll notice that I had a couple brad nails blow out, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of those now. Just a pair of needle nose pliers, you bend the nail, pull, and it should come right out with a little bit of force. Then, like I mentioned, the sides were a little bit too long, so I'm going to take my coping saw and shave them down just because I want it to be flush. Then I'm going to do a quick sand over everything. Now I'm going to fill the nail holes with wood filler, and I like to fill some of the knots that have holes with a bit of filler. You don't have to do this step, and it's completely optional, but I think it makes for a nicer final product. Once that's on, I'm going to sand it a bit more. Once that's done, I'll do a final wipe down to remove any dust, and now you're ready to paint or stain. I'm using a bare water-based stain in Golden Pecan for this. We're going to give it one coat and let it dry. Now this is a 1 hour dry time stain, but I'm in Florida and it's over 90 degrees outside, so it won't take quite that long to dry. Once it's dry to the touch, I'm going to lightly hand sand with a 220 grit, wipe it off, and apply a second coat. Once that second coat dries, I'm going to lightly sand and wipe it off. Then I'm going to apply this bare polyurethane to protect it. And you have your final product, a simple wooden tray that you can easily finish in an afternoon. If you wanted to get fancy, you could add some handles, or before assembling, use a jigsaw to cut out handles in the sides. But now you have a nice quality simple wooden tray to help you stay organized, serve food, or to add a decorative centerpiece to your living spaces. It's simple, useful, and full of charm. If you enjoyed this project, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss future builds and videos. Check out the link in the description to visit thirdshiftcrafts.com, and you'll find free plans, project inspiration, helpful tips, and our exclusive line of woodworking-inspired t-shirts and mugs, perfect for makers like you or as a gift for the woodworkers in your life. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go build something you love.